There's the Chevy Bolt EV, and then this one, the Bolt EUV. What's the difference? Stick around. When I last checked in on the Chevrolet Bolt EV, Team Bowtie had freshened it nicely with a new schnoz, fancy taillights, and most important, a big interior upgrade. Plus, Chevy started rolling out a variant called EUV when, you probably heard, every Bolt was recalled because of a fire hazard with the LG Chem battery packs. The short story is, the problem was identified, owners get new packs, and the factories are churning out Bolts again, now with a massive price cut. It applies to both the EV and the EUV here. Man, General Motors seems to thrive on confusing nomenclature like Encore and Encore GX, which are different vehicles. Let's not forget Bolt and Volt. Both of the Bolts ride on the same architecture, so what's the difference? Arguably, the EUV has sleeker styling. It's 6 inches longer, the wheelbase is up by 4, so there's a little bit more cabin space. Unfortunately, it's more expensive by $2,000. And range is down by 12 miles, which isn't bad. The EPA rates this one's range at 247 miles, or 397 kilometers for you Canadians. GM's EVs are not eligible for Uncle Sam's $7,500 tax credit, but some states have them. 2023 models get a new lower base price of $28,200 with destination. That's down by $6,300 if you can find one without dealer markup. This fully loaded Premier version will sticker for $37,400. The Chevy is stuffed with creature comforts like heated and vented leather seats, a toasty tiller, a nice big glass roof, and a Bose system that's loud, rich, and punchy. My neighbors can testify to that. There's also this, which I'll get to later. All Bolts are strictly front-wheel drive, and front levers, you're out of luck. Looks like a small box for the charge cord could fit in here. Some automakers do that. The motor makes 200 horsepower and 266 pound-feet of torque to move a 3,700-pound machine. That's a couple hundred more than the Bolt EV. The floor-mounted, liquid-cooled lithium-ion pack is 65 kilowatt-hours. And keep in mind, this is not GM's newest Ultium technology. Chevy includes a dual-mode travel charging cord, so you can mooch off family and friends when visiting. A lot of cars have greeting tones these days. The Chevy Bolt is no different. Kind of dramatic, huh? The ignition button is hidden behind the wheel. Kind of start by braille. The single-motor transmission gets this arrangement now. It's easy to get used to. There's a sport mode that seems to add some heft to the steering weight, but not much more. There's also one-pedal drive mode that remembers your preference at startup, plus this to add even more recuperation drag. The ones below are for the sound system. If you haven't driven an electric vehicle, you really need to give it a try. They're loads of fun, especially in the city, because all of that low-end torque makes them feel faster than they are. Bolt EUV does the 0 to 60 dash in about 7 seconds, which is pretty standard for a single-motor EV. Again, it feels quicker than that. It's fun. It's important to remember the price point when evaluating the Bolt EUV. It's under $30,000. That's around $20,000 less than a base Model 3, the least expensive Tesla that can be had. And there's a flurry of other choices now, many that qualify for the federal tax credit. Nissan Leaf, Kia Niro, and Hyundai Kona EV are the closest. Shop wisely and make sure you can take advantage of tax credits. This does have the handling dynamic of heavy batteries in the floor for that low center of gravity, but this suspension is tuned for comfort, so chuck it hard into a corner, and there's going to be some understeer. Not overly sporty. Wouldn't it be great if GM decided to do a GTI version of this? It certainly knows how to tune a suspension. It is a spunky thing, and in normal maneuvers, even enthusiasts will enjoy snaking it through city traffic. Bolt is a fun urban attack vehicle, as long as it's not being pushed hard to the limit. One thing that a lot of people forget to check for during their test drive is visibility. A lot of modern vehicles have awful visibility. The EUV is pretty good. There's no big blind spot back there. It's been a while since I've driven the Bolt EV, but I have to believe the 4 inches of extra wheelbase improves comfort. As far as the ride quality goes, in everyday driving on pavement like this, it's perfectly fine. Once things start getting rough, well, then you'll definitely feel it. I hit a big bump and the suspension bottomed out, so not overly sophisticated. Graphics help drivers maximize range, and even though it's down a smidge from the regular Bolt, it's not a problem with EUV, especially if you're doing mostly city driving and charging at home. According to the EPA, the Bolt EUV is supposed to go 247 miles on a charge. Temperatures are in the high 50s to low 60s. I'm on track to do 250. So range isn't an issue. You all know that distance suffers in cold or bad weather, hard driving, plus cranking the HVAC and sound systems. Those affect gas-powered vehicles too. It's just more pronounced in an EV. I'm in one pedal mode and I'm going 30 miles an hour. Let's do the Mississippi test. Foot off the throttle, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, and a complete stop. Pretty good. One pedal driving, definitely a thing, and I didn't even use the regen paddle. Nice that this dynamic is selectable. Bolt isn't as hushed as Mercedes EQS, of course, but it's fairly quiet for a budget EV, and for a smaller vehicle, it's a solid highway traveler. Adaptive cruise control is standard on the Premier model, fork over $2,200, and you get GM's Super Cruise, which is true hands-free driving. I've been on this stretch for about 5 miles, haven't touched the wheel, the brake, or the throttle. It's great stuff. Now, it only works on divided highways that are mapped, but that really shouldn't be an issue. There's a couple 100,000 miles of those. There's a camera, it's watching you, so you're present and accounted for. It will shut down if it senses that you're doing things like posting cat videos on social media. Now, this system is not as comprehensive as the one found in Cadillacs or GMCs, but it's very, very good. If you're often on divided highways, you do a lot of commuting, this is an excellent system. You'll know that it's working. The steering wheel turns green if you go to change lanes, which you have to do manually. It turns blue. If it goes red, you have to take over. It even gives you alerts. I'm getting into a construction zone, so I'm getting this. The first 3 years are on Chevy. After that, Super Cruise is a subscription service like OnStar. As for taking on electrons, Bolt has an upgraded 11.5 kilowatt onboard charger. That's not as good as Tesla or the 800-volt architecture in Hyundai Ioniq 5 and Kia EV6, but those are larger cars and much more expensive. You get what you pay for. Chevy's speed is similar to Kona, Niro, and the Leaf with the larger battery. The EPA says Bolt saves $9,750 in fuel costs over 5 years compared to average new vehicles. That's charging at home. These cost much more. Using DC fast charging, Bolt will take on around 95 miles in 30 minutes, so it's not the fastest charging EV out there. At home, where most charging is done using level 2, it'll juice up completely in about 8 or 9 hours, essentially overnight. So for those that road trip often, Bolt will require more patience at the plug. People using it for commuting that can charge where they sleep won't really sacrifice at all. Like any vehicle, know your needs. The two Bolts share the same cabin look. This is a big improvement over the first generation's interior. I had to squint to tell if this was real or molded stitching at that point. What's the difference? Premier models get leather seats. These updated chairs are another improvement. They're much more supportive now. There's even power for the driver's side. There's a very good surround view camera system, found only in luxury cars a few years back.
There are some budget-grade plastics, but the overall vibe from behind the wheel is a positive one, especially in the night shift blue colorway. There's even ambient light piping across the dashboard that didn't photograph well. Skateboard platforms allow for extra storage spaces. Neither Bolts are huge cars, but there are the expected places to squirrel things away. The center console is especially deep. This is a big jar of peanut butter. Who doesn't keep one of these in their car, huh? The user interface is exceptionally easy to use with excellent response. There are voice commands using Alexa. I couldn't sign into it, so you'll have to try that yourself. There's wireless phone charging. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay don't require a cord, so that makes it all easy.
So there's, what, 3 extra inches of legroom in the back compared to the regular Bolt? Yeah, you can really tell the difference when it comes to knee, leg, and foot room, but I'm a professional. I'm kind of sensitive to that kind of thing. Hey, whatever. We're both 5'9", and yeah, legroom is great. Cushions are high enough so that thigh support is excellent. In fact, they could actually be dropped down an inch or two because headroom may be a little bit on the tight side. At least the door openings are big enough so that car seats go in and out without any issues. Door pockets, those are pretty big, and you can put change here, but does anybody carry change anymore? My big pet peeve, of course, there's a pocket here, but none here. The kids are gonna fight over that. No separate climate zone back here or adjustable vents, but I do like that there are both kinds of USB ports. And check it out, heated seats. That's a surprise. There's no spine here, the floor is bolt flat. Get it? And legroom might be improved, but the EUV is no wider than the regular Bolt, so I would keep it to 2 adults back here. 3 would be a crowd. With just a couple, they could put refreshing beverages back here. It's much more civilized with just 2 here.
As far as design goes, the EUV seems to be a popular choice in my casual parking lot opinion poll. A number of folks came up to ask what it was, and even though it doesn't look too avant-garde, people seem to know right off the bat that it was an EV. It got more thumbs up than expected. EUV's rear end has a much smoother line than the other Bolt, which looks like a budget hatchback. There's some inspiration from Chevy Blazer here. The 2 Bolts share a beak with this interesting detail, so from dead on they look the same. The silver flare metallic has just a hint of blue in it. Nice paint.
With Bolt EUV being about a half foot longer than Bolt Classic, you might be thinking there's got to be a little bit more cargo room, right? Not really.
In fact, on GM's press site, the cargo numbers for the EUV are oddly, if insignificantly, smaller than Bolt EV. Can't tell you why. There's no spare, so there's lots of space under the floor. It's an easy reach to drop the seat backs, and in total, that's 57 cubic feet to fill up. Not bad for a smaller vehicle. No 40-20-40 split, but I get it at this price. And if you want a totally flat floor, it's a thing in the EUV. Seats up, there's 16.3 cubic feet to load up on TP, which turns out to be 5 packs of the 2-ply, pretty standard for a hatchback this size. And for those that will flag me about loading so high the rearward vision is blocked, Chevy has you covered with a digital rear view mirror. Technology for the win. It gives a wide view of traffic. Let's move on to red light, green light. Green light. The new pricing makes this an affordable EV with good range, what many people are asking for. The EUV gets a sleeker look. It's amazing what a little length and a new back end can do. The improved cabin is stuffed with features, creature comforts, and Super Cruise. The carpool gang will appreciate the extra legroom and comfortable seats. Yellow lights. EUV's svelte design and extra room come with a small cost and range penalty. It's zippy fun, but push it hard and the suspension shows a lack of polish. There's extra legroom in back, but no added width. It's best for 2 adults there. Red light. Road trippers will lament Bolt's slower commercial charging speed. No spare tire always gets a ding from me. Eventually, Super Cruise will require owners to pay. Welcome to the future of subscription services. There's also the long shadow of the LG Chem battery recall, which has to be a strong reason why GM has dropped the price so dramatically in a market where prices are rising. Also, competitors still enjoy the federal tax credit. The value readjustment should get people into Chevy stores to take a look. This is a good deal.
Playing armchair product planner for a moment, if I were Chevy, I would ditch the Bolt EV and only make the Bolt EUV. This looks better, it's a little bit roomier, and having two Bolts in the marketplace is confusing. In my opinion, this is the better Bolt.
It's not without its baggage, but if you want an affordable electric vehicle with loads of range, buckets of features, and tons of practicality, it's tough to beat the Bolts, either one of them. But really, go with the EUV. No doubt, Bolt got stung from the battery recall. Still, have to hand it to GM for stepping up to do the right thing fairly quickly. I get it if people don't trust this car after all that. For now, there's no way to know if the pack issues are solved. Only time will tell. And it's not as if other EVs haven't caught fire as well. It is a very rare event. And gas cars catch fire as well.
A reminder that I've got a price quote service, and if you use it, it benefits this channel. I like that. But please, use any of them like cars.com, because that way you're armed with as much information as you possibly can get. It's hard to buy a car these days. And use mine and you get invoice pricing right away. Not that you're going to be paying invoice pricing. These days you'll be lucky to get it for MSRP. But shop smart, okay? I want you to get a good deal.
And one thing I see time and time again, people tend to overbuy, especially Americans. They'll go for a 3-row crossover because every other leap year the in-laws visit, and maybe, just maybe, they'll need the room when going out for dinner. Or maybe it's all-wheel drive that may never be taken advantage of. And Bolt isn't available with all-wheel drive, and that's okay. The upcoming Equinox will have it, if you need it.
Hope you got something out of my look at the Chevy Bolt EUV. Instead of a fun fact, I'm going to leave you with an opinion, because a lot of people on my channel have left the comment, there are no good affordable electric vehicles. And I don't think that's true. This is Exhibit A. The Chevy Bolt is a very well done vehicle. Yes, it has a black eye because of the battery recall. That could actually be an opportunity. These are very inexpensive on the used market, and they come with a brand new battery. General Motors is replacing all of them. Such a good deal. And yeah, it's not a luxury car, but that's the way it works, folks. This is an entry-level car. It's not supposed to be a luxury vehicle. It's a base car, but very well done, really. Remember, subscribe to this channel, click notifications, follow me on Twitter. I'm very active there. And if you have a question, leave it in the comments, okay? All right, that's Driven. I'm Tom Voelk. Okay, what do you think?
Pretty cool. Kind of scary.
It is the first time you use it because, you just keep going and going and going and going. But it's pretty secure, isn't it?
Slowing down, let's see.
Yeah. You won't touch the wheel, the throttle, or the brake until we get into Seattle.